Meeting of the Clarke County Board of Education will now come to order. Ms. McNamara, would you call the roll?
Dr. Spangler?
Here.
Mr. Payne? Ms. Wright?
Here.
Mrs. Ellis?
Here.
Mr. Worthy?
Here.
Mrs. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Huff?
Here.
Ms. Thornton?
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have any amendments to the agenda at this time?
We do, President Worthy, members of the board. In your important packet, which is your yellow packet, I would like to add a number 30 to the consent agenda. It just would be the last one, but move to the consent. I'm real pleased to say that we're applying for a Race to the Top grant, and this is around our professional development district and technology, and we have to write a 3-page introduction and then be selected or invited to apply. We scored very high on our concept, very high, and we've been invited to apply for this grant, which is $350,000 a year for 2 years. So we are real pleased. So what I'm asking on the consent agenda is that by approving the consent agenda, you let us continue with the process and apply for a $700,000 grant.
What, can I ask a question?
Sure.
What can that money be used for? Is it general funds? Is it?
No, it's specific to the grant application. Yeah, it's specific to what, yeah, it's with the PDS, professor in residence. It's very specific.
Okay.
Professional development. Okay, I don't have an amendment, but I want to suggest something here. Dr. Lanu said the amendment, item 30, we put that on the consent agenda.
Right.
And I'm looking at item 29, District 3 Board of Education applicants. Rather than wait until the end of the meeting, board members, I'm asking that we move that up to item D. I was anticipating that we would have some speakers this evening because of the budget. We don't have any, okay? So I'm asking that we can move item 29 up to item D, and when Dr. Lanu would make his report, I'll call on the applicants to step forward and address the board on the information that we gave them last week, and then after that, we can go ahead and I'll go ahead and open the floor, and we'll take nominations from the board members. Do we have any problems with that, board members?
No, I move that we amend the agenda as you suggested.
Okay. All right. I got a motion from Mr. Huff to amend the agenda. Okay. And I need a second.
Second.
Second from Ms. Ellis. Okay. All in favor? Okay. All right. Opposed? 2 opposed. Okay. All right. Okay. Now the next item here, I need a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Mr. Huff, seconded by Ms. Williams. All in favor of adopting the agenda? That's a unanimous vote. Thank you very much. Okay. At this time, would you please stand and join me in a moment of silent meditation? We'll follow that with a pledge of allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, recognition of achievements and awards. Vanessa, and here she comes.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mr. Superintendent, and members of the board. I am pleased to recognize many outstanding individuals from the Clarke County School District tonight. Honorees, when I call your name, please come forth, accept your certificate, and shake the board members' hands. And before we go into our regular recognitions, tonight we are very excited to present our second annual Impact Awards. This year we are recognizing 7 outstanding organizations that provide ongoing support in our schools. Nominations were made by school district principals and directors, and each of the organizations that will be honored tonight was nominated for making significant and lasting contributions to our district. There were certainly other nominees, and we appreciate the effort of all groups that work with our district. Each and every one makes a difference. This evening, we will commend our award winners. This is our way of saying thank you for making a difference in the life of a child. So I will read a blurb about why you were selected, and then I will call up the representative from your respective groups. First will be Academy Sports. Over the last several years, Academy Sports has generously donated school uniforms to the Clarke County School District. Each August, Academy Sports contacts school counselors and social workers to determine students that may have a financial hardship in affording school uniforms. Academy Sports has helped many schools add a surplus of shirts and pants to school uniform closets so that schools always have additional uniforms on hand. Thanks to their support, all students have appropriate clothing for school. In addition to their uniform support, Academy Sports has also donated bikes for student incentive programs in the Clarke County School District. And tonight for Academy Sports, we'd like to present the award to Brittany Caudle.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Brittany, for all you've done.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And the Athens Rotary Club had a scheduling conflict, and we presented their award last week, but tonight we did want to share with you what they have done for our district. The Athens Rotary Club has been a strong partner with the school district and has provided support in a variety of ways. Most recently, the Rotary Club joined forces with the school district to recognize all Teachers of the Year at a club meeting, as well as have the District Teacher of the Year as a guest speaker. For the past 10 years, the Athens Rotary Club has also provided dictionaries to third grade students, hand-delivered to over 1,000 students this past year. They also sponsor the Interact Clubs at Cedar Shoals High School and Clark Central High School, which are leadership and service organizations. The Athens Rotary Club also provides scholarships to Clarke County School District students, 2 through the E.B. Mell Scholarship Program and 1 through the Madeline Forbes Scholarship Program. The support of the Athens Rotary Club has directly supported our students and teachers and helped make the community aware of the work in the Clarke County School District. And last week, President Cheryl Leggett was here to accept that award. The next one we'd like to recognize tonight is Food to Kids. Food to Kids is a program of the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia that provides free sacks of child-friendly foods that are easy to open, nutritious, and do not require any cooking. The program began in 2008 in partnership with the Junior League of Athens and started with 80 students and has now grown to over 267 students in Clarke County, with students in every elementary and middle school in the school district. Food to Kids has provided over 11,000 bags equaling 65,000 weekend meals just this past school year. This food helps students that may not have food on the weekend have food they can prepare themselves. Counselors in the school district work directly with the food bank to identify students that can benefit most from this program. If students are hungry, they cannot concentrate on anything but that pit in their stomachs. But because of Food to Kids, students in need of going without food on the weekends come to school Monday morning ready to learn. And tonight we would like to recognize John Becker, the president of the Food Bank of Northeast Georgia, and Susan Dodson, the Food to Kids coordinator.
Thank you so much. Good job.
Thank you so very much.
Good to see you again. Thank you for everything.
Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Next, we will recognize the Georgia Department of Labor. The Georgia Department of Labor has participated in numerous Clarke County School District programs over the last 2 decades. They continue to provide vital services towards helping students gain marketable employment skills through classroom presentations, guest and motivational speakers, workshops, advisory boards, curricular review and advice, job shadowing, and intern placements. In addition to workplace services, they also provide meeting space for various school district and community meetings. The Georgia Department of Labor continues to be a vital contributing partner for the school district and its students. And tonight we would like to ask Fred Smith, the regional director, to come up and accept the award. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thanks. Congratulations.
And we also presented Jittery Joe's Coffee with an award last week, and due to a scheduling conflict, they could not be here either, but we would like to share what they have done for our district. Jittery Joe's has a long tradition of supporting students at both the school and district levels. They are the corporate sponsor of the Athens to Savannah bike ride that began at Clarke Middle and is now produced by the Foundation for Excellence. They donated all the equipment in providing training for the Classic City High School coffee shop and provided training and design consultation on the STEAM Cafe at Clarke Central High School. Jittery Joe's has sponsored a variety of events, including the District Battle of the Books competition, and also provided food and coffee for the 2012 Seeing is Believing bus tour. They have partnered with schools and parent-teacher organizations to sell coffee as a fundraiser, sponsored school 5K road races, and supported a variety of contests, competitions, and special events. Jittery Joe's has also donated gift cards for teacher gifts. As one principal said, anytime we ask, Jittery Joe's is there. And the next group we would like to recognize that's here tonight is Shop with a Bulldog. Shop with a Bulldog is a University of Georgia student organization that aims to bring the joy of the holiday season to children that may not have the financial means to participate in seasonal shopping. Founded in 2009, the group has provided a shopping experience for around 450 Clarke County students. Since 2009, Shop with a Bulldog has raised $90,000 from the UGA student body and community so that our students can purchase holiday gifts and experience the joy of the season. Students are able to spend $100 each and purchase items including toys, clothing, shoes, and supplies. University students serve as mentors during the shopping day, and they form relationships and serve as positive role models to the students. Because of their service, they help ensure a happier holiday to many in our community. And from that organization, we would like to recognize Joe Fazio and Caitlin O'Keefe. Thank you.
Thank you. What a great idea. Thank you. What a great idea. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thanks so much.
And our final impact award this year goes to Target. They have graciously accommodated the school district and Shop with a Bulldog on our annual holiday shopping experience. The store provided greeters and associates to help parents and students locate items throughout the store. 8 lanes were closed so that students, parents, and UGA volunteers could have a hassle-free shopping experience. As a community partner in education, Target also donated $250 in gift cards to be used as door prize giveaways during the 2012 statewide Family Engagement Conference, co-hosted by the Clarke County School District and the Georgia Department of Education. For years, they have demonstrated their commitment to education with their generosity to the students of our community. Is anyone from Target here tonight? Someone had a family emergency at the last moment, so they didn't think anyone would be able to make it. But now I would like to ask for a round of applause for our second annual Impact Award winner. And now we shall move on to the rest of our recognitions for this evening. First, we will recognize Melanie Sigler from Bernie Harris Lyons Middle School. Bernie Harris Lyons Middle School Principal Melanie Sigler has been selected by a commission of statewide educators to participate in the 2012 Professional Association of Georgia Educators, or PAGE, Principal Network. The Principal Leadership Network is composed of 40 principals across Georgia who have been identified as future-oriented Georgia principals with a desire to make a lasting difference for public education in Georgia. PAGE will fully cover the cost of 4 professional learning sessions to deepen principals' knowledge, capability, and confidence to lead change on behalf of students in Georgia. And Ms. Sigler already does this very well, and we wish her all the best in this venture. Congratulations. Next, we have Abigail Sartain here tonight. She was a recent graduate from Clarke Central High School, and tonight we were going to recognize her because she came to school every single day for her entire 13-year school career. So,
She said she's had enough.
yeah, she's had enough. And she will attend Armstrong Atlantic University in Savannah this fall and will study nursing. Okay, next we will recognize the 2012 Bezos Scholar. So So I'll read it first and then we'll call up the honorees because I have several things to work in here. Clarke Central High School's junior Dory McMillan has received an all-expense paid scholarship to attend the Bezos Scholars Program at the Aspen Institute June 26th through July 12th. Dory selected Clarke Central English Department Chair Ian Altman as the educator scholar to attend, and they will focus on issues related to undocumented students. The Bezos Scholars Program brings together 12 of the nation's top public high school juniors and 12 exceptional educators for a week of exploration, dialogue, and debate at the acclaimed Aspen Ideas Festival. Scholars will connect with international leaders, thinkers, entrepreneurs, and creative artists and engage in lectures, presentations, debates, and discussions spanning a range of critical topics. Following a week at the Aspen Ideas Festival, each team of student and educator scholars plan a local ideas festival that focuses on an issue of relevance in their respective hometowns. And in addition to that honor, we will also recognize Dory McMillan tonight for being selected as one of the 2 Georgia representatives to attend the annual Al Newhart Free Spirit Journalism Conference in Washington, D.C. this July. She will enjoy an all-expenses paid trip to the journalism conference to be held at the museum. As one of 2 Georgia representatives, she is not only representing the school district, but the entire state of Georgia. And so tonight we would like to recognize and commend Ian Altman and Dory McMillan.
Outstanding. Good job.
Congratulations.
Thank you for everything. Great job. Congratulations.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mom.
And I know that no one could be more proud of Dory than her dad, Tad McMillan, who's here tonight. Next, do we have Alex Harris here this evening? Great. Clarke Central High School rising senior Alex Harris has been named a Northeast Georgia All-Star. The Georgia Dugout Club sponsors the baseball tournament where they tap the state's 96 top players, 24 per region. Alex finished the season with a batting average of .475, broke 3 school records, was named Offensive Player of the Year and All-Region First-Team Outfielder. He was also nominated for Senior Team Georgia. And so tonight we would like to recognize and commend not only a great athlete but a great student, Alex Harris. And our next award is not on the agenda. We wanted it to be a bit of a surprise. And this is for the 2012 Outstanding Rehabilitation Award from the Athens-Clarke Heritage Foundation. The Clarke County School District and the Heritage Committee of Athens High and Industrial School / Bernie Harris High School recently received a 2012 Outstanding Rehabilitation Award from the Athens-Clarke Heritage Foundation for the H.T. Edwards Complex renovation. This isn't on our list, but we wanted to surprise Associate Superintendent Ted Gilbert with this award. When I first asked him about a possible board recognition, he sent me a long list of people to be recognized, so we decided to go the route of a press release. I'd like to share Ted's quote from that release. The H.T. Edwards Complex is the result of a variety of groups working together for the purpose of honoring the history at the site, as well as modernizing the facilities for more efficient use. This was possible due to the collaboration of the school district, the Heritage Committee, the Community Oversight Committee, SP Design Group Architects, Piedmont Construction Group, the Unified Government of Athens-Clarke County, the Athens Housing Authority, and many others. Ted always ensures that all stakeholders have a voice, and that is one of the reasons he's such an effective leader. So many groups came together, and now we have a true state-of-the-art campus with the Athens Community Career Academy, Boys and Girls Club, Classic City High School, Athens Tech Adult Education, and the school district's Office of Early Learning. Not only were these sites renovated, but we were able to honor the legacy of those who attended Athens' first African-American high school in the building where the Career Academy now resides. Tonight, we'd like to recognize Associate Superintendent for District Services Ted Gilbert for his leadership in this project. He won't take the credit, so instead we're surprising him and saying thank you for your leadership in bringing our community together.
You did a great job. You deserve that.
You deserve it.
Great job.
Thank you so much.
Well deserved. Well done.
You've never done this before.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And finally, we will recognize our 4-star employee award winners. Do we have Elizabeth Platt here? Elizabeth Platt was on the Heritage Committee, and I didn't realize she'd be here. And I would love for her to come up, and also she deserves a round of applause as well. Please come up, Mrs. Platt. I decided today we were going to have a surprise, and I did not know you would be here, but Mrs. Platt was on the Heritage Committee and so instrumental. So please go around and shake the board members' hands. We want to honor you, too.
Thank you for all that hard work.
You have been tremendous.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
And finally, we will recognize our 4-star Employee Award winners. First is Patricia Bates, who was nominated for the award by Casey Tedder, who was a parent of a student in her class as well as a school district employee. And Patricia is a speech pathologist at Stroud Elementary. Is she here this evening? She was nominated for helping Ms. Tedder's son, who has autism, and she really wanted to credit her with helping to help him have such a wonderful school year and fit in. So thank you so much, Ms. Bates. Next, we have Laura Forehand from Oglethorpe Avenue Elementary School. She's an instructional coach, and she was nominated for this award by her principal, Scarlett Dunn. And this is what she had to say about Laura. Ms. Forehand is an outstanding math coach. She is our data queen. With just a touch of a few buttons, she provides teachers and administrators with all the data required to help inform instruction and to review and access the progress of students. Ms. Forehand also works in classrooms with teachers modeling best practices in math for students. She provides resources and materials for teachers and makes sure that teachers have the technology needed to use interactive materials and smartboard lessons with students. She keeps our iDrive loaded with electronic math lessons and activities, as well as practice tests for all students in all grade levels. Ms. Forehand also plans with our instructional coach, Ms. Lewis, on a weekly basis to make sure the professional learning needs of all teachers are being met. Ms. Forehand is an integral part of the Oglethorpe Avenue Elementary School staff. Please come up, Ms. Laura Forehand. Congratulations.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Thanks, Laura.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Do we have Shannon Lewis here this evening? Well, hold on a minute, because I have not one but 2 nominations that came for you. Shannon Lewis is a school social worker, and she works at Fowler, Coyle, Winterville, and J.J. Harris. So she was nominated for one of these by Grace Stanishevsky and Bethany Dietrich, her co-workers. And they said, our school social worker, Shannon Lewis, deserves the 4-star award, not only for her incredible work ethic, but also for her commitment to all children. Shannon goes above and beyond the duties of her position and always builds strong relationships with her families and teachers. She has a calm, cheerful demeanor and is extremely knowledgeable on ways to support children and their families. When working with Shannon, she always makes you feel like your students' needs are the most important, and she always follows through. Shannon genuinely cares about children. And she was also nominated by Melanie Brown, the assistant principal at Fowler Drive Elementary School. And she said, it is with much pleasure that I recommend Shannon Lewis for a Clarke County School District 4-star award. Shannon is our school social worker and has served our school for the past 3 years. During the time that I have known her, I have found her to be an exceptional social worker. Shannon meets with us bi-monthly in our Kids Talk meetings to discuss ways to help students who have various needs. She has a passion for what she does, and she always does what is in the best interest of children. When dealing with school staff members, parents, or students, she is always professional, polite, and accommodating. Shannon is well-spoken, positive, and a hard worker. Her smile is infectious, and her spirit is contagious. Shannon makes frequent home visits and is very good at helping parents understand that she and the school are available to assist them. She is resourceful and very well connected to the various agencies in the community that can provide the necessary services and resources that our students and their families need. Shannon also makes herself available for any meetings and parent-teacher conferences when needed. She is a wonderful liaison between the school and families, and we are so fortunate to have her as part of our school family. Congratulations, Shannon Lewis.
Great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And finally, we have Justin Reynolds from Gaines Elementary, who was nominated by his colleague, Rebecca Hayes. Mr. Reynolds, are you here? Great. This is what Rebecca had to say about you. In addition to Mr. Reynolds' job description as a special education teacher, he facilitates a club for 5th grade boys on Friday mornings. The boys that have exercised the expectations as Gaines, as dedicated by their homeroom teacher, go to the club from 7:30 to 8 in the morning. They learn how to play musical instruments and play team sports outside. This boys' club is an incentive for positive behavior and an avenue for them to be validated for their good choices. It gives them something to aim for and look forward to. Mr. Reynolds has shared his time and talents with a population that needs a male role model. It is rewarding to see the faces of proud boys as they return to class after a morning with Mr. Reynolds. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good job.
Thanks.
Congratulations, thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to all of our honored guests this evening. You represent your school district and community very well, and we are so proud and thankful for your contributions to our students. Thank you.
And as you leave, I just want to say thanks to everyone for all the special kind of work that you do for our children and for our adults and for our community. From the Impact Awards tonight to the individuals and the accolades they've received just because of the work, and then the opportunities that have been afforded them through just a number of different avenues is truly remarkable. And it's just a nice way to end our last board meeting of this particular fiscal year, but we couldn't be more proud of what you have done and what we've done for the whole year. So thank you. Smile as you leave today. It's a good day.
Thank you, Dr. Lanier. We're going to go ahead and move the agenda. We're down to item B, minutes of previous meetings. And board members, before I call for a motion to approve those, do pay special attention to the information there pertaining to, May 3rd. We had information pertaining to our workshop that's going to take place on the 29th of this month. And you have agenda items, team building, strategic planning. We also going to have our training there to do some work with us on student and employee hearings. Dr. Lanu, Mr. Huff, and myself, we're going to meet on the 21st of this month at 8:30, and we're going to sort of finalize, put the finishing touches on that agenda. Hopefully we'll have Ms. McNamara to email that out to you no later than the 22nd of this month. So that will give you approximately 6 to 7 days to review that agenda for our workshop. Okay, now, we had 2 meetings, May 3rd, May 10th. I'll have a motion for approval. Moved by Dr. Spangler, seconded by Mr. Huff. Any questions pertaining to the minutes? Any questions? All in favor? That's a unanimous vote. Motion passed. Superintendent's report.
Let's just do a little bit of housekeeping. We do have an employee hearing on that we need to hold, and we're looking at July 26th and the 27th. We do have 3 board members for the 26th, and those are, who said they could make it?
Sarah Ellis, Dr. Spangler, and Mr. Worthy.
And Mr. Worthy. So I'm looking, if anyone's available, we need 5.
Quorum.
And we need a quorum.
We need 2 more.
What's the time frame you have in there?
It would
It's going to be all day.
in the morning, but
I
they
teach on
could go
Tuesday, so
there.
I can't do that.
So the second is out. That was.
The second is out
completely
because that was
yeah.
just a bad day.
Yeah, I'm
That
gonna
was
be
not gonna
in
work.
town those days.
I'm sorry?
I'm not going to be in town those days.
Did you say June 26th?
Yeah, July 26th. I'm sorry. I might have said June. July.
You said July, let's just. And I can do that.
Can you? Good.
Thank you.
Now, when
You
will-
cannot.
Thursday, yeah, Tuesday, Thursdays I'm out.
Okay.
It's going to be all day.
So we got
Yeah.
4.
She has switched day.
We're looking at the 26th so far. I guess we have 4.
For,
It's a Thursday.
I'll try to see if Mr. Payne and Mrs. Thornton, one or the other, can do that.
Yeah,
And then I'll
that'd be
confirm.
But, so be tentatively, we'll look at the 26th, seems to be our best piece, best day. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
The next, just want to commend that Barrow Elementary School, as you know, is going over to the old Gaines, and the building doesn't look quite like it used to today. It's changing every day as the demolition is occurring, but we're really pleased that they're chosen because of the movement with technology. That is the bus tour around the state with representatives that occurs annually. They visit, I think, up to 20 schools. I'm sorry, I didn't bring that notice in front of me. And so they will visit Barrow Elementary and begin to look at our introduction to technology as we're impacting instruction in the classroom. So heard that this week, and that was terrific. There's lots going on tonight, so I'm going to turn over at this point for begin the process on the selection of board members. So that would be Mr. Worthy.
Okay, we have two applicants to fill District 3 seat, and they are Linda Davis and Alvin Sheets. And we gave them a packet of information, sent them a packet of information last week, and they were asked to come and address the board for approximately 5 minutes tonight. And I guess I'll do it alphabetical order, just to be fair about it. So, and as I stated earlier, once they finish speaking, I'm going to open up the floor with the board to make the nominations, and we'll do the voting. Ms. Linda Davis, you're first.
Good evening, and thank you. First of all, thank you for this opportunity to present my interest in further serving all of our children and young adults, and therefore our future in the education of our children in Clarke County. I also thank this community that came out to support the work of the school district tonight. Since my journey began many years ago, I have heard from many people who want the best for each and every one of our students. With this in mind, please hear my answers to your questions. Number one, can I support the decisions of the majority of the members of the Board of Education, even though I may not have voted in favor of that decision when my vote was cast? What I like about this question is that it seems inclusive and it carries a promise that every board member will have an informed vote. I support consensus building, therefore, my answer is yes. I have practiced this in my former career decisions about business operations, strategies, the purchasing, salary decisions, salary administration, and vendor selection. The cliche that stands out in my mind relative to this question is, in God we trust, everyone else bring data. What I've seen is that given the right information and enough of it, I've seen people with very strong opinions graciously yield to the facts and fully engage to support the group's decision. Number two, what are my aspirations for the Clarke County School District if I'm appointed to the Board of Education? Well, I actually was allowed to work on the committee that came up with the Clarke County School District vision. So, and our vision is for all students to graduate as lifelong learners with the knowledge, skills, and character to succeed in our community and the global society. I like that vision statement. And actually, my aspirations are the same whether I'm appointed or not. My aspirations are for the school district, parents, students, government, and this community to work together to achieve this vision that we've put out for our students. Our real work is in preparing our children, and I understand that, and that's the real work of our lifetime. Working together is really the hard part because there are a large number of opportunities to do so. So one way that I have engaged in is by mentoring. And I've mentored with Friends for Life, I've mentored with the Clarke County School District, and the one that's coming through the Chamber of Commerce. And both of those have been rewarding experiences. I had great support from both organizations as they prepared me to be a mentor. But what they did not tell me is that I would come to love these kids passionately, and they have taken me to places that I had never imagined, and therefore I'm standing before you today because it is because of that relationship that I'm able to even pursue this. My two mentees grew to 4, then sometimes 5. They developed an interest in spiritual growth, and then that group grew to 6 and sometimes 8 as we attended Wednesday night Bible study at Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. And it was our group that started a practice of having an evening meal together before we began our lessons in character building. Now, Reverend Mosley has commissioned the church van to be a part of our ministry, and now on any Wednesday night, we serve from 20 to 55 children. And that has been a true thing of value to me in terms of seeing the children, having them talk about what their school day was like. Now they're talking about what they're doing while they're not in school. What are they doing? So to me, it's a thing of the community engaging and working together to try and make sure that our kids are successful. How do I view the qualities of cooperation and respect in maintaining an effective team effort between the Board of Education and the superintendent in furthering learning and achievement in the Clarke County School District? And that's the whole question. It's a big question. And so my answer is simply this: cooperation and respect are essential. And in keeping our focus on the mission and responsibilities of the school district, I believe that our respect should first be directed toward the students and then their parents. And following that, cooperation and respect for each other and the task at hand should be our guiding principles in terms of how we define our relationship with the superintendent. My experience has been that the best teamwork happens when goals are clearly understood, when there's true collaboration with open, honest communication, and an atmosphere of trust prevails. Along with that, however, I do believe there must be a willingness to try new things and the courage to stop practices that perhaps are not as effective as they once were. In my best experiences, mistakes are quickly acknowledged and corrected, and the whole team learns from them. Apologies are sincere, and applause is deafening and frequent. In summary, each person in this collective has a great responsibility to work toward the vision and mission of the Clarke County School District. This work is very important to our children right now, today, and for all of our future. I close my remarks with a quote that I learned from a fellow mentor who remembers this lesson from her childhood. It is nice to be important, but it is more important to be nice. This board appears to exemplify that behavior. Whether appointed or not, I too promise to be nice.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Mr. Alvin Sheets, you're on.
Good evening, President Worthy, Superintendent Lanou, board members, visiting audience, and those viewing out there in TV land. Excuse me. My name is Alvin Sheets. My mailing address is Post Office Box 5142, Athens, Georgia. Residence 1820 West Hancock Avenue. Excuse me. I've been in this community for quite some time, been very active in this community for quite some time. I was one of the original members to help start summer school in Athens-Clarke County. We're talking about as far back as 1986, 87, but it was well into the late 80s, early 90s before we got summer school started here. But nevertheless, we stayed true to the task. Furthermore, I was also one of the original co-chairs of the speed lots for Athens-Clarke County. I believe that was around 93 and 94. So I've been a long time activist, if you will, here in Athens-Clarke County. And my first campaign run was for the 3rd District School Board seat. Here I am full circle. But that's all right. With that being said, I'll go ahead and cut through the chase. The question that you sent to us: can you support the decisions of the majority of the members of the Board of Education, even though you may have not voted in favor of that decision when your vote was cast? Without a doubt, yes. I'm very comfortable with supporting majority decisions. Having served and currently serving on a board, I understand that not all minds see things the same. Sometimes board members will disagree on the direction or next step in moving forward, determining a possible solution, or making a final decision. However, as a member of the board, we must come to a consensus for the betterment of the organization. I have no problem supporting the majority decision of a board. I just recently came off of the Charter Review Commission board. Many times, things did not necessarily go the way I thought they should, but nevertheless, we still had to be supportive of the entire board decision. What are your aspirations for Clarke County School District if you are appointed to the Board of Education? My aspirations for the Clarke County School District are to positively promote our strengths, vigorously address things that need improvement, and primarily support the vision and mission of the district. It is most important that there is a positive, healthy, and challenging learning environment for all our students. I aspire to be a board member that will do my part to ensure that each child in Clarke County School District has the opportunity to learn in an environment that is conducive for each to achieve required educational goals and excel to their highest level of attainment. Now, as Mr. Davis said, the long question. How do you view the qualities of cooperation and respect in maintaining an effective team effort between the Board of Education and the superintendent in furthering learning and achievement in the Clarke County School District? My answer is almost as long. Effective team efforts start with respect of each other's views and ideas that may not be the same as mine, another member, or the superintendent's. Cooperation is essential for the team to be effective by agreeing to disagree and come together on one accord in the final decision and leadership of the superintendent as we work together to further the learning and achievement in Clarke County School Districts. Cooperation and respect in any organization is paramount in its quest for success. And that just about does it for me. I would say that in selecting me as the replacement for Minister Reverend David Nunley, you can't go wrong. I have a tried and proven record of involvement in this community, dedication to this community. My wife and I should say, have reared 5 children in this community, struggling, pushed 5 children through the system. Praise God, some went on to higher learning, some still trying to find their way. That's life. But nevertheless, we're proud of all 5. We're proud that they came through the Athens-Clarke County school system. With that, peace be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sheets. Okay, we're back to the agenda. As I said, we moved this up to go ahead and vote at this time. And then I stated to you last week that we're going to use the same procedure that we use in electing the president and vice president of this Board of Education. I'll open the floor up for nominations. You make that nomination. We don't need a second. And then, of course, I'll close the nominations out. And then I'll call for the vote. Okay. Floor is open for nominations. Mr. Huff?
I'll nominate Ms. Davis.
Okay. Mrs. Davis been nominated. Any more nominations?
I'd like to nominate Mr. Sheets.
Okay. Mr. Sheets? So it's only 2. I'll close the nominations. Okay? And I'll start with the first person that was nominated, which was Mrs. Davis. Okay? All in favor of Mrs. Davis, let it be known by the show of your right hand. Okay? All in favor of Mr. Sheets, let it be known by the show of your right hand. Okay? It's a 4-2 vote. It's Ms. Davis. Congratulations, Mrs. Davis. And we'll be in touch with you. Okay. We are ready to move the agenda. Let's see. We're down to item E on the agenda. And item E, report of current committees, Mr. Superintendent.
Just the SPLOST 2 and 3 monthly reports. Those are included in your packet. I'd ask for approval of the financial report for April 2012.
Okay, recommendation from the superintendent on the financial report. Have a motion moved by Dr. Spangler, seconded by Ms. Huff. Any questions pertaining to the financial statement? All in favor? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you.
Unless someone else wishes to, I'm assuming their director's report we won't have this evening.
Only Mr. Payne. Okay,
just double checking. Okay, old business.
Yes, item F, old business.
I would recommend that we remove the policies as outlined. I won't read them. Those are new policies, rescinded policies, as well as revised regulations. So I'd ask, and exhibits. I'd ask that first that they be removed from the table.
Okay, we need a motion to remove these from the table. Moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Dr. Spangler. All in favor? Okay.
Now I'd ask for the policies that we approve the policies.
Okay, recommendation from the superintendent to approve the policies and exhibits. Moved by Ms. Wright. Got a second on that. Second from Dr. Spangler. Okay, all in favor? Just right hand, please. Okay, unanimous vote. Motion passed.
Number 2 will take several steps. So the steps would be that this is the student code of conduct, which is considered policy, needs to be approved annually. I asked to expedite this because we need to go to print. So I would ask that we remove from the table first. Then I would ask that we suspend the rules. And if that is approved, that we approve the student code of discipline, conduct.
Okay, now you went down to,
Number two.
Under
come
old
to,
business.
okay, all right.
I think I'm right. I'm in the right order
you
still?
You are.
Okay, just double check.
Okay. You make your recommendation.
So I got three. So I asked first remove from the table. Then I would ask that we suspend the rules. And if that goes through, that we approve the code of conduct.
Okay, all righty. We got to remove from the table. Need a motion. Moved by Ms. Wright, second by Dr. Spangler. All in favor? Okay, it's off the table. Now, need a recommendation.
Suspend rules.
I recommend that we suspend the rules.
I need a motion to suspend the rules, folks. Moved by Ms. Williams. Got a second on that? Second by Dr. Spangler. All in favor? The rule been suspended.
I'd
Now I
ask,
need a recommendation.
I'd ask that we
Except
approve
for not burning
this.
here.
I'd ask that we approve the
We all
student
get a
code of
turn.
conduct.
Okay, asking for approval. Now, need a motion. Moved by Ms. Wright. Got a second by Mr. Huff. All in favor? Thank you very much. Okay, item 3.
Item 3, and I think this is certainly dear to many of our hearts. I'm really pleased that the Heritage Committee is here, and as you know, they've been intricate in part of the work that we have done on the H.T. Edwards and really a lot of different elements of our school district, and because they're critical, just a critical piece of keeping the history that's so important to us. So, as I said last time, this is a naming of a building that probably of all the names, and I'm going to step out on a limb because I've only been here 3 years, but I'll do it, that probably is the most fitting. So what I would ask that we do is to first, removing from the table, the naming of the H.T. Edwards Campus Gymnasium for Mrs. Elizabeth G. King. I'd ask that we remove from the table.
Okay, need a motion to remove it from the table. Moved by Dr. Spangler, seconded by Ms. Williams. All in favor? Okay. that's
Because
all in favor.
according to policy, it needs to be on for 30 days. I'm going to ask at this point that we suspend the rules for naming of the gym facility, the new gymnasium.
Need a motion to suspend the rule. Moved by Ms. Wright, second by Dr. Spangler. All in favor of suspending the rule on this? Okay, motion passed.
I would ask at this time that we name the H.T. Edwards Campus Gymnasium as the Miss Elizabeth G. King Gymnasium.
Okay, recommendation from the superintendent to name this gymnasium after Mrs. Elizabeth King. Okay, moved by Ms. Williams. Got a second by Ms. Ellis. Questions? I have to say this because of Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne said to me to make sure to say that Ms. King taught him. Okay, now do we have
That
any?
could cause me to vote against it.
All righty, all in favor? I'm gonna raise my hand high, folks. Motion passed. Okay.
Okay,
All right,
we
great.
have a new name on the gym. Thank you. That's a clap. That's right.
She is an amazing woman.
Yeah.
Just
She is. She is. Okay, with that, new business. President Worthy, I'd ask that we approve the consent agenda, and of course, that includes number 30 that we added.
Okay, recommendation to approve the consent agenda with the addition of item 30. Have a motion? Moved by Mr. Huff. Got a second by Dr. Spangler. All in favor? Okay, unanimous, motion passed. Item 20.
Item 20, and this is the Athens-Tech lease to extend the H.T. Edwards, and this is the classroom building space for the adult education program.
Okay, that's item 20 on
That's
Athens
item
Tech
20.
lease extension for T. Edwards campus.
To approve the memorandum of understanding.
Okay, all righty. Now, need a motion. Moved by Dr. Spangler. Got a second on that, second by Mr. Huff. All in favor? Okay. All
remember, I
opposed?
need to abstain.
Abstain.
Because I work,
Abstention.
because of,
Okay. Item 21.
Item 21, I won't read the policies, they are there, but I ask that we place the policies, regulations, and exhibit on the table for 4 weeks.
Okay. Moved by Ms. Wright. We got a second by Dr. Spangler. All in favor of placing these policies, regulations, and exhibits on the table? 4 weeks. Okay. Motion passes.
Number 22, I recommend we award a 3-year contract to Georgia School Boards Association for $1,486,848 per year, and that would be for insurance liability, workman's comp, property, broker services, workman's compensation, property, and liability insurance.
Okay, would you repeat that figure again, Doctor?
That would be $1,486,848 annually.
GSBA, okay. Need a motion on that? Moved by Dr. Spangler. Got a second on that? Got a second on that? Seconded by Ms. Wright. Okay. Questions?
I would like to make a comment. And I spoke to the superintendent earlier, and I've been reflecting on your answer to that, Dr. Lanou, that I do have some concerns when I look at the previous record of what we've paid on this. Very, very concerned about that. But now we are going out to bid, and I think this is the first time we have gone out to bid in several years. And so thank you for your leadership in doing that, and I certainly support that, and I think that's reflected in some of the decreases we've gotten. But with your comment, and I'm still struggling, but with your comment that was then and this is now, we will be watching and monitoring and making sure that we're getting the best value for this school district to put money in the school, in the classroom, instead of where it's been going on that. So with that, I will support.
Okay, Dr. Spangler.
I've probably been misinformed in the past, but I was always under the impression that we couldn't let multi-year contracts. Apparently we can if we're doing 3 years. I thought no state agency could do anything for more than a year.
I would have to defer. There's one thing about this contract. It has a 60-day termination clause. Okay. I mean, I don't think that answers, but I want you to know there's flexibility. That there is a termination clause, and Mr. Barley's not here only because his son's getting married. So,
well, is there a renewal clause every year, even though it's 3? I know we've done some other contracts where we have to renew them based on something. Can someone tell me what that is?
Let me, Eric, and sort of a pause. So let me sort of put a caveat in this particular piece, and I could treat it very much like we do the ombudsman contract, that it's a 3-year commitment. We have a 60-day termination if we don't want it. What I would put is that we would renew annually with the board to ensure that we have stabilization in prices. So if that can be in this recommendation, do you know what I mean? It's a 3-year commitment. We can break the contract, and we would bring the contract to the board annually. But we would not go out to bid annually unless we terminated the contract.
Is whoever made that motion amenable to that change?
I don't remember who made it.
I can't remember.
Who made the motion? I didn't make it.
I didn't make it.
I think it was one of us.
I think it was you, Allison. I thought it was Allison.
Who was on that?
I think it was
Dr. Spangler made the motion and Allison seconded
Okay.
it.
So just for clarification, then the motion would read that we will approve a 3-year contract, understanding that there is a 60-day breakage of contract if services aren't provided, and that it would be brought to the board annually.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And just another comment about this whole process. If it can be, when it is time to bid it again, if it could be started earlier, so we are not voting on this in June to be effective in July.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments?
I'll just make a comment that I'm going to abstain from this vote just to avoid a potential conflict of interest because of one of the individuals with GSBA who is in a property ownership that I have done with it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Huff. Any other questions, comments on item 22? Okay, all in favor? Okay. Motion passed, and we had one abstention. Okay. Item 23, district salary.
23, I recommend the board approve revisions to the district salary schedule, and that's found in attachment A.
Okay, if you've had an opportunity to review the district salary schedule here, that's item 23. I need a motion for approval. Moved by Mr. Huff. You got a second on that? Second by Dr. Spangler. Any questions? Do we have any questions? Any questions? All in favor? Okay, that's a unanimous vote. Motion passed. Okay, item 24.
24 is the Career Academy Memorandum of Understanding. This is a conversation, of course, we've been having for many years. But this MOU outlines the relationship of the Career Academy as we revise that structure this year and reform the program. So I'd ask that we approve the memorandum of understanding between Athens-Tech and Clarke County School District in the operations and running of the Athens Community Career Academy.
Okay, recommendation from the superintendent on that. Moved by Mr. Huff. Got a second on that, second by Dr. Spangler. Any questions about item 24? That's the Career Academy Memorandum of Understanding between the school district and Athens-Tech. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Motion passed. Okay, we're down to item, the easy one.
Yeah, sure.
Item 25.
Okay.
About the FY 2013
I recommend we
budget.
adopt the FY 2013 budget.
Okay, I need a motion. Moved by Dr. Spangler. Got a second on that? Got a second. Got a second for Ms. Ellis? All righty, now, any questions? Go ahead, Mr. Huff. I see you making efforts down there. So.
You know, I'd like to commend Dr. Lanou and his staff for doing a very remarkable job, very laudable, developing this budget. And it's been very difficult work, and I know it has resulted in sleepless nights for many of you. And you have fulfilled your duty and responsibility, and I would say you've done a job well done. Now the budget is before the board, and the final approval is our responsibility. And we have listened to stakeholders' perspectives through phone calls, conversations, emails, budget hearings, and much deliberation. After much deliberation, I'm of the mind that that with an additional furlough day, making it 6, and the savings we were able to realize through the workers' compensation insurance premiums, and that we can restore the first grade paraprofessionals and reap the benefits of these individuals provide through greater enrichment and stability and support in the first grade classrooms, and stay in proximity to the fund balance as indicated in the tentative budget.
Okay, now I'm going to sort of paraphrase what you said in terms of the question there, and you're going to put that in the form of a motion. I hope, but anyway, you said that.
That's
There's a motion
basically
on the floor.
what I'm going to intend to do is not vote for the budget as this, and then make a motion to restore the parapros. Is what I'm.
Okay. All right.
Thinking about an amendment.
I'm gonna make an amendment to that.
Amendment,
Okay.
right, because there's a motion on the floor for approval of the budget. But anyway, you said that with the first grade paraprofessionals, you wanted an additional furlough day, which would give 6 furlough days. And then, of course, with the savings on the workers' compensation insurance, I believe, we started out with $1 million, and I think a few minutes ago the recommendation was what, 1.4 million?
It's still about 200. It's about 200,000.
About 200,000. Okay. So you're saying that you want to make an amendment to the motion that was made?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All righty. Now, any other questions about this budget? Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Can we discuss the amendment? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Doesn't he need a second?
Yes, we need a second.
No, I'm sorry. I need a second. Yeah. I need a second to the amendment.
I'll make the motion, and if there's a
Okay,
second
and
to that.
And I'll second it.
I see Ms. Williams got a second to the, now we're going for the question.
Could I just ask for clarification from Mr. Hoff? When you talk about a furlough day, are you talking about a furlough day for those that we've already furloughed for 5 days, or a furlough day for all 2,800 employees?
I would say similar to what we're doing
So we would
far.
keep the same structure, which was we would add a furlough day to all those that make, it was 33, I think it was 33.5 and above. So we just add to the current number of individuals that were furloughed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Dr. Lanou, can you speak to the impact of that, please? The furlough day?
Well, I think I've said over and over, and at least in the hearings, that we're, fiscally we need to balance the budget. Unless some miracle happens, we will probably at this point have between a $10 and an $11 million deficit to fill next year. And I've said before that probably the only way that we will close that gap is to impact employees. In some way, whether it's their job, whether it's cut number of days, whether it's furloughs, however you package that. And so I've been reticent to add more days because I think we may be in a position that's what we'll have to do next year. This is not a pleasant time, but I have confidence that the principals and teachers will have to rally around these kinds of reductions, and we're going to see more reductions next year. I'm going to be recommending at the board retreat that we look at some cost reduction strategies. That it's ongoing. We ought to come to grips that the budget is not something you present in the spring and pass. That budget savings are going to be occurring every day. And my goal for the district is that we should not be adding any expenditures until we close the gap between what is income and revenue and what is expenditures. And I'm very cognizant of our employees. They have not said a word. And they've added 2 more furlough days, and they work harder. These are tough decisions, and so that's why I didn't add a furlough day and made the recommendation that I did. When it's gone, you get by. The principals will make it work. The teachers, once again, will make it work.
Okay, you heard the amendment, and I asked for a question. Of course, Ms. Williams had a question. You have another question, Ms. Williams?
I do.
Okay.
I would really like to see this not be another furlough day, and that's my concern. And in the additions that we have budgeted for anticipated needs, is there any way that we could use some of that and then come up with additional savings throughout the year to replace some of that?
We could do a whole range of things. Do you know what I mean? And we're just barely finally have found this. That what I don't think people have probably realized, because it's just a single line item figure, is that after we went through the zero-based budgeting process, we went back and took $750,000 out of operations. That's been positions, that's been facilities, that's been a whole range. So I think in talking to Mr. Gilbert, we finally just got there today. I mean, on the $750,000. So that line item looks like a line item. It's a lot of money that when we threw in that 2%. But our expenditures, if we look at our projections, our fund balance dwindles to somewhere around $2 million in a very near future. You know what I mean? And if we're operating a district with a $2 million fund balance, I'm very concerned that we could look and be in the same position, and I don't mean to use names, but I will, as DeKalb County, who in fact, do you know what I mean, are short $6 million to even pay their bills, and creating a $79 million deficit gap the following year. We could do whatever the board wants, but ultimately it's going to end up at not impacting the spending revenue gap. We also have to remember too that our revenues aren't always predictable. We put in a number. We're optimistic it might be a little better, but it could be a lot worse. As last year, we were cut $2 million the day before we were to vote on the budget. We also know that we put in a figure that was, I think, probably more on the generous side than on the negative side on our local revenues, when there was a prediction of a 2.7%, and I think, Mr. Gilbert, we didn't quite put in, what did we put in for a decrease? We're in 4%. We did the 4 forward. We may or may not see, but we saw 900,000 or somewhere around that in appeals, and that seems to be a trend. So I think for us just to think about, I can get it now, and that's a stable number, probably isn't really, as accurate as it can be, because I don't know what's going to happen on the revenue side. Ultimately, what it means is that we don't close the gap, and we run the risk in the end of having to cut $11 million. And my position all along in this is that these are hard cuts. These aren't cuts I want to make. They aren't cuts anybody wants to make. But my feeling was that we can do with these reductions. We can reorganize and then decide, because we're going to come at it in the next round. And that's why I was reticent to recommend about a $14 million cut, which would probably have leveled off spending with revenues. So we can do whatever the board wants. It just means in the long run, we have a bigger chunk for next year. And that would just make it a whole lot harder. That's...
Okay, we're still dealing with, go ahead, Dr. Spain.
I have a comment and a question. First of all, I appreciate the spirit of Mr. Huff's motion to not impact classroom instruction directly. I understand this isn't a popular or a pleasant decision, but I think that part of what we're going to have to do in this budget across the board is be creative about other ways to manage everything from transportation to instruction to technology to whatever. Plenty of other school districts don't have first grade parapros, districts with demographics similar to ours. The state doesn't see fit to fund first grade parapros. This isn't a decision that we're cutting money that the state gives us. The state doesn't see fit to fund first grade parapros. So I think the place to take this argument is to the state. This is the third time we've put first grade parapros on the chopping block, and we've backed off every time, and there's community uproar and outcry, which I understand and appreciate. But if we're going to be right back in this situation again next year and get a recommendation to cut first grade parapros again next year, and we're going to go through 3 more budget hearings and hundreds of emails and grocery store conversations and telephone calls, I really would rather go ahead and do it now while everybody's expecting it than end up doing it again next year when we will have lost all the savings from not doing it this year. So I would like to see us go ahead and stick with, we had plenty of time in previous meetings, in the Finance Committee meeting last week, to talk about doing this, and to start changing things up at the 11th hour now, I think is problematic. My question for Dr. Lanou is, who was involved in the decision to get to this point to reduce first grade parapros? What was the role of instructional councils, principals? I mean, I'm sure nobody stood up and said, please take my parapros.
I mean, we were pretty closed about when you impact positions, letting that out to the masses. But certainly this was, and I'll say because I wasn't here, so I'll make that choice. The reduction was at least supported or approved by our principals, and they said they'd get by. But I can't specifically speak for every single principal. But in my conversation after presenting the budget, the first grade parapros were not presented to me as a priority. The community, yes. School leaders and constituents, as much as it was important, there was a realization that they may have to do differently, just like they've done in second grade. And we've even gone as far as I've said is, this is where we need our community. And we've already worked with Ms. Jimenez, with Anissa, to look at a structure where we can get volunteers, how we can roll that out. I think, Anissa, that we've got that pretty much in place and ready to do something comprehensive across the district. But this is probably one of the places that are very dear to our heart, but we have an option to look at volunteers from our community. And if that's a valuable resource in our community, let's structure it and take advantage, because there are other areas that we'll be cutting where we won't be afforded that kind of option.
Okay, all righty.
The other thing I was going to say that I forgot is we cut second grade parapros a few years ago and everybody screamed, but teachers found ways to make it work. We cut first grade parapros in half a few years ago. Everybody screamed, but it worked. We have high-quality professionals in this district who will figure out how to deliver high-quality instruction. I don't want to come across as the meanie who wants to cut first-grade parapros, but I don't want to sit here and do this again next year.
And I'd also say we're impacting how we do business across the board. We cut 70 teaching positions of teachers in front of our children and rearranged that. You know what I mean? And there's probably a likelihood we're going to see more. Now, it's not a likelihood, it's a given. And these are just difficult decisions.
Okay, we're still dealing with the amendment that made by Mr. Huff, to do the one-day furlough and also use money from the working compensation, $200,000 actually, to save the first grade parapros. Any further questions pertaining to this amendment? Any further questions pertaining to this amendment? Okay, I'm going to call for a vote on the amendment first, okay? Not for the total budget. All in favor of supporting Mr. Huff's amendment? And I just explained to you what was involved in that amendment. Let it be known by a show of your right hand. Okay, 2. All opposed? Let the rest. Okay, 4 opposed. Amendment failed. All right, we're back to the original budget here. On item 26, I think a motion was made by Dr. Spangler, and we got a second on the motion.
I think I made it.
Yeah,
Ms. Sellers.
for this. Now, any other questions about the budget itself? I do want to say this, because I've said it before, and I know what Dr. Spangler said a few minutes ago, but 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, before you arrived, Dr. Lanu, we dealt with the same thing, and I remember the exact figure, 92 paraprofessionals. I think the recommendation was made to cut them across the board. And we found some lean or fat or whatever in this budget not to do that. And I'm still looking at this, even though Mr. Huff's amendment failed, but I'm still looking at the money that we are saving on workman compensation. We said it's still about $200,000. And it's really tough to go along with this. It really is, because, anyway, any further questions on it?
Can I just make a comment?
Go ahead.
I was completely, Dr. Lanu and I have had this exact same conversation. I asked him if we saved more money on the workman's comp, could we use it towards parapros? And he said yes, but we're still not closing the gap, and we need to close that fund balance gap. And so I spent a long time thinking about it. I want nothing more than to keep adults and professionals in our classrooms, and parapros at the first grade level I think are very, very important. But I think it's second to the solvency of our entire district as a whole. And after lots of discussion and lots of thought and lots of review of the budget, I don't want to take those parapros out of the classroom at all, but I also think that the solvency of this district and maintaining and creating a balanced budget and being able to just pay the bills is critically important. And that $200,000 that was found in the workman's comp, I immediately wanted to apply it to parapros. I said it out loud. I thought that was a great place to do it. But after further review, I just think it's critically important to close that gap.
Okay, any other questions about the FY 2013 budget? Go ahead, Dr. Spangler.
I just want to say, I think it's a mistake to think about the extra $200,000 on the workman's comp as savings. This is like we have a $10 million credit card bill, and we now have another $200,000 to apply to that. Not we have no money and we just got $200,000, let's go buy a dishwasher. This is, we're reducing that gap by a tiny little bit. It's not, we just found some extra money, let's go spend it. I think not spending that money is the thing to do, as with all the other savings that hopefully will get accumulated this year. I think we need to not plant that we saved a bunch of money and therefore we need to spend it somewhere, notion in the mind of the public. We're not holding back on money that could be spent on parapros. It's money we don't really have.
And there again, I know that we are planning for FY 2013, but, and someone correct me if I'm incorrect on this, but I'm continuing to see, and I know that state revenue is down, but I know, and I can't recall the percentage, but I know that I've read someplace on the internet and newspaper someplace that we've had some growth with state revenue. And, you know, this is June of 2013, and that's what we're dealing with, now June of 2014, or even going into the fiscal year when Dr. Lanou and Mr. Gibbard and all would make the budget. We don't know where we're going to be. I know what Dr. Lanou said now, you know, but hopefully somehow we're going to close it. It's got to close somewhere, because in fact, if not, I guess we have to close down. And I'm concerned about that $2 million too that will be left in the fund balance. Don't want to be caught like the Cab County. They didn't have a fund balance. I don't know. But I continue to say this each time a budget would come up. And I just have to say, it seems like the paraprofessionals are picked on. You know, these are the folks that are making the least amount of money. And I know that the state is not funding them, and et cetera and whatnot. But according to what was said in the emails to all of us, and I talked to some teachers individually at these hearings, that those paraprofessionals in those classrooms are very valuable to them. Okay, any other questions? Okay, if we don't have any other questions, we'll move back to the motion in terms of approving the FY 2013 budget. Okay, the motion has been made. Okay, all in favor of the superintendent's recommendation on the 2013 budget, let it be known by show of hands. Okay. All opposed. Got one opposed from the president. Motion passed. Item 26.
Item 26, after that, we have to adopt the FY 2000 millage rate. So I ask the board to approve the I'm one ahead. Sorry, no, I am, but my reading, I'm going to read it exactly. I approve setting the millage rate at 20 mills for the FY 2012-2013, along with the resolution.
Okay, and the resolution is in there.
Is in
item 26, yeah, I've looked at it. Okay, now, the recommendation from the superintendent on the adopting the millage rate, which is at 20 mills, and there's a resolution that is attached to that. And I believe that the only millage rate that would sustain this budget would be 20 mills. Okay, need a motion. Moved by Dr. Spangler, seconded by Ms. Williams. Questions? Questions? All in favor? Unanimous. Motion passed. Okay, down item 27.
What I thought would be prudent pending the outcome of the budget, that there were 5 furlough days, but I'm going to ask that we revise the calendar.
Okay.
Those 5 days will come out of professional days. They will not come out of student days. So we've made some changes and really peeled back on professional days. That's where we plugged in the furlough days. There's 2 in the beginning of the year, and there are 3 throughout the year. The only difference in this calendar, and this was some feedback that we had, is in February, in the last calendar, we had a professional day on the 11th, which was a week before President's Day. And people expressed some questions why we don't have President's Day off, which I thought was a good one. So in this revised calendar, we will have the 18th off, no students and furlough days, and that would be President's Day. So I made a slight modification. Thank you, Mr. Huff, for that.
I appreciate your consideration.
So I'd ask that we approve the revised calendar for 2/12/2013.
Okay, recommendation to approve the revised calendar, moved by Mr. Huff. We got a second on that, second by Ms. Wright. Any questions pertaining to revising of the calendar? Okay, all in favor? Okay, unanimous vote, motion passed. Item 28.
28, I would ask, I spoke last week about the guidelines that we'd use for the purchase of our technology plan. That would be out of SPLOS. So I'd ask that we approve the guiding concepts of the SPLOS technology plan and the purchases as outlined above.
Okay. SPLOS technology plan. Need a motion? Moved by Ms. Williams, seconded by Dr. Spangler. Any questions about the SPLOS technology plan? Questions? All in favor? Okay, motion passed unanimously. Okay.
With that, and I just want to make a note that we've got our retreat and we don't have a board meeting in July. There's a strong likelihood, because we have some vacant positions, particularly assistant principal positions, that I would be looking for a called meeting at some point when we're ready, probably 3/4 of the way through July, because I think we'll need to move some people, and especially if they're outside the district, to release them from their contracts and et cetera. But because all of those changes just took place in the last week, we've just posted and haven't gone through that process. So I just want to give that as an FYI. So with that, I recommend that we approve the personnel recommendations and addenda.
Okay, recommendation from the superintendent on the personnel and addendums. Okay, need a motion on that? Moved by Mr. Huff, got a second by Dr. Spangler. All in favor? Okay, unanimous vote, motion passed. Okay. All right, I entertain a motion for adjournment. Moved by Ms. Wright, seconded by Mr. Huff. All in favor? Thank you very much.